Oh, hold on a second, guys, here. I'm trying to get my camera steady. I apologize about this little bit of movement. Are we good? I hope we're good. Anyway, today I'm going to tell you my thoughts on Sara's Face by Melvin Burgess, this new book I read. And I read his other book, Smack, which was very good. It was about drugs and that, and the way it was written was very raw to me. It was one of my favorite books. And I've never heard of Sara's Face. When I was at the library the other day and I seen it by Melvin Burgess, I grabbed it. It wasn't like Smack in the way it was written, nor for the subject matter, but it was still a good book. I am going to read, definitely not what I thought it would be like. Yeah, let me get into that after I read you the summary here. 17-year-old Sara wants so much to be famous that when a legendary plastic surgery addicted rock star offers to take her under his wing and pay for her to have surgery too, she jumps at the chance despite her misgivings. The way this book was written like a nonfiction book. It was told, like it was a true story. It also reminded me, if you've ever read Bram Stoker's Dracula, and the way that Jonathan wrote all his diary entries and just the way that was, not that it was actually video, like a video diary from Sara, and a lot of the parts, and then the parts where, of course, she wasn't talking, it was filled in with, the people that were there through this thing that was going on. It was like their words being told, and the writer then, putting it into a book form. It's just the way that it was written, the setting. It reminded me of Bram Stoker's Dracula, how Jonathan goes to Dracula's castle as a guest and ends up actually being a prisoner and seeing all the weird stuff going on. That's what this book reminded me of. It is about a girl named Sara, as Sara's Face, who at the beginning of the book, they say how she gets into accidents. She has accidents in that where she ends up hurting herself. Whether they're actually accidents or not, is left to your discretion until the end of the story when you find out the truth of it all. And one of these accidents happened when she was ironing, and she got caught up in the cord and tripped and fell, and the iron landed on her face. So she had this big imprint of the iron that burned her face, so it's a big scar. So when she was in the hospital getting treated for all that, she came across his name's Jonathan too. She came across Jonathan Heat. He is a well-known rock star who actually has went through numerous plastic surgeries on himself, and he's had his face redone so many times that the structure of his face, the bones in it, actually collapsed. And so he wears a mask all the time now because he just looks literally like a monster. It's just like, it's just like pulp. It's just so bad. So he wears a mask all the time. And it tells you in the story, another reason why this book, it was just eerie and kind of spooky, was one of the ways he had his face was like a dog's face, I believe it was, with a snout and everything. Yeah, disturbing. His plastic surgeon, who did it all, he was actually blamed for his face from collapsing. And Jonathan still, though, kept him on. So Jonathan, anyways, lives in this huge house. And when he seen Sara in the hospital and seeing her face, and she's only 17 years old, he offered to take her in, even though she has a mother, offered to take her in and pay for her surgery to get her face done. Sara also wanted to get some other things done. She wanted to get a breast enhancement. I believe she wanted to get a tummy tuck, a nose job, some other stuff like that. And so Jonathan said that he would help her out. He would pay for it all, take care of her. Why he did what his motive was, do not know at this point. We do know that he's a very generous man. So anyway, so the story goes, Sara starts staying at his castle, or his house, his mansion. And Jonathan spoils her. He takes her on these shopping trips and this and that, and she's set to have her surgery in about a couple months' time. Well, in the meantime, Sara starts seeing things, she starts hearing things. It's just all this stuff that starts to go on. And there's nothing in this book to me that like built up and built up and built up, and it was like, oh my God. It wasn't like that. It was literally like a true story being told. Until you get to the very end and it all comes together. I know my thoughts on this are all jumbled and they're all over the place, but it's very, very hard for me to explain this book to you. All I can say is that it's kind of creepy in its own way. It's kind of sinister, and it's just, yeah. The people in here, well, Jonathan and the surgeon, especially Jonathan, he's kind of weird. And Sara, you wonder, Sara, she starts to get a little bit iffy on getting the surgery done. She starts to have doubts and stuff, and you wonder why she just doesn't leave this place. And there's other characters in this book that play a role in all this. Yeah, it's just a very difficult book to try to explain to you. All I can tell you that was I really enjoyed the book. For a lot of people, it may be a slow read, but because I'm so used to reading true crime stories and things like that, it wasn't. I enjoyed getting into the heads of Sara and Jonathan, and it was disturbing at the same time. Yeah, I don't even know if I should have did a review on this because I know I'm not making any sort of sense. But let me just say, if you like Melvin Burgess, if you like Dracula, the pace that it took, you seen stuff that was going on that wasn't right. And it wasn't like a fast-paced, action-packed book. That's how this is. But you knew that it was building up to something. You knew that there were things that were wrong, that were creepy, that were just spooky, sinister were going on. And so that's what kept you reading. That's how this book is. That's all I can really say. So, yeah, I'm going to write a review too on my blog and on Goodreads, and hopefully maybe I can put it into words a little bit better. So, but yeah, I do recommend this book though. Melvin Burgess, Sara's Face. And let me see exactly when this was published. This was actually 2006. And actually, under the summary, it tells you that it's about identity, emotional problems, plastic surgery, and fame, and it takes place in England. So it's 264 pages. The words are this big, so it's, even though it took me 3 days to read, I had a lot of other stuff I was doing over these past couple days, but I could have gotten through it in a day and a half. So anyways, yeah, I would check it out. I'm sorry, like I said, that this review isn't the best and it's all over the place. It's very hard to describe this book. The next book I plan on reading is V.C. Andrews' Family Storms. And I did do a post on this on my blog yesterday. I'm very excited to dig into this one because I have not read a V.C. Andrews book in a while, even though I do know that it's not her actually writing because she passed away, and I think it was 1986. So it's a ghost writer that's writing for her now. I guess that's it, guys. Yeah. So, alright, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.